Films entertain us, shake us, inspire us, but can film be seen as a genuine source of knowledge and potentially a contributor to humanity's understanding of the world? Historically, long before the dawn of what we now call the seventh art form, the general answer in philosophy seemed to be no. To give just one reason for such thinking, let's turn to ancient Greece. The year is around 375 BC. Plato finishes his Republic, a text that went down as one of the world's most influential works of philosophy, and in it he discusses the nature of an ideal state, and curiously, he argues that such a state should banish all poets. Why would that be? Plato saw philosophy and art as rival ways in which we form beliefs. Philosophy follows arguments and reason, while the arts establish truth through emotion. In Book 10 of the Republic, we read that poetry feeds and waters the passions instead of drying them up. She lets them rule, although they ought to be controlled if mankind are ever to increase in happiness and virtue. Through history, most philosophers, like Plato, maintained the exclusivity of truth in philosophy and science, so they mostly dismissed the arts as poor pretenders to the title of purveyors of truth. Hence, in their view, art should have no role in guiding our belief and certainly has no part in rational thinking. This view came to be less and less prevalent after the Enlightenment period gave way to Romantic philosophies, when philosophers such as Kierkegaard, Schopenhauer and Nietzsche argued that art nonetheless captures a deeper truth, one that often remains unseen in everyday life. By the time cinema emerged, different art forms generally established themselves as purveyors of philosophical ideas, but this new art form, cinema, as seen by many, was nothing more than new entertainment for the masses. Not to mention the ready-made analogy between cinema hall and Plato's cave, since in both people are immersed in shadows on the wall, an imitation of life, but essentially a lie. If one wants to understand life, one needs to study life, not through the observation of an imitation of it, but observing true life. And in this view, cinema is nothing but a distraction from life, a form of escapism, which to a large extent rings true, since people do largely use film as a way of distraction from life. And yet, to many, films were an entry point into several philosophical ways of thinking. We could say that while films establish their own story, they also act as general thought experiments, what-if situations that face us with some of life's biggest questions. How would I look at my life if I just found out that I have a couple of months left to live? What would it mean to me if the world would present me with an increasing amount of anomalies, leading me into a radical sort of skepticism? What is the moral value of memories, and what part do those memories play in making up my identity? What is the nature of time? What is the nature of consciousness? What is the most important thing about death? I think that quality alone, that of being a thought experiment, enables film to become a valid way of doing philosophy. The emotional investment in those thought experiments can be argued to be an hindrance to our rationality, and yet these emotional stakes are always present in life, which is a type of restraint that every philosopher has to be aware of. Films don't present problems abstractly as seen in academic articles, they make us live through them in all of their complexities. And that can be of important philosophical value.